No. Oh, God. Ew. That's not.
It's so bad.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Illiterates, which I don't know what the number is. If I'm keeping it in,
You don't know the number because we're illiterate.
That's true. I also don't know how to read any of these Twitter questions because I'm illiterate either. This is the first episode where I'm actually sitting in front of someone. That's right, Twitter. I took a shower and I am actually in front of another human being. It's not all just Discord calls because that's how we record all of our other broadcasts is just Discord calls. So everyone on the podcast say hi to Dalen Maresh. Everyone say hi.
And this is where I say hi.
This is where you say
I
hi.
say hi back.
You say hi back to who?
Everybody who said hi.
Wow, that's crazy. Dalen Maresh, if you don't know, he is the head of photography and cinematographer and director of photography. Yeah, director of photography and cinematographer.
And technical director.
And technical director. The only reason I didn't put that credit in is because I didn't find it anywhere.
I love it. It seems like such a made up thing.
Yeah. I direct the technicalities. What technicalities? Yeah, I'll watch the movie.
I just choose whether or not something is practical.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, if you don't know, go watch Coda. I don't know if you are listening to this podcast, you probably watch Coda. But yeah,
Better have.
Yeah, you better have, or we will kill you. Individually come to your house and put a monopod through your chest. But yeah, Dalen was the director of photography. He was the main cinematographer. And as you can tell, he did a fucking phenomenal job.
I did an all right job.
You did a phenomenal job. I'm trying to pick out my favorite Dalen moments on set in my head right now.
My favorite one is, I think you have a photo of this too, when I was in the background with the clapboard.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the hi, mom.
Yeah. That's a perfect picture.
It's pretty good.
That's a good banner picture for you to just put boop, that's who I am. And it's I feel for no reason, if we ever just become big and successful and famous and huge producers, when yeah, that's the picture to go back to, you know,
sure.
of and I feel it's weird when you look at directors like Sam Raimi and you look at directors like Nolan and stuff like that. They directed films in a time where turning on the video was such a special occasion that the only stuff they filmed was stuff they filmed for their projects.
Right.
Whereas I feel for us, putting on the video is a snap of a button where you're doing it. So I feel for us and for other filmmakers, you're going to have so much behind the scenes work of our early work that, I don't know, we'll always perceive ourselves young that way, I think. Whereas I feel with Nolan, is there really a mark to identify when he made the following Memento? There's not much other than some press conference stuff. And even behind the scenes on Batman Begins and stuff like that is images and splash pages of him with a beard making a sculpture in a garage. And that's it. And I feel for us, the day that we make a sculpture in a garage like that, we'll have a full fucking 30-minute vlog to document that moment. And I think that's both a good thing and a weird thing. Where it's the whole nature of filmmaking is exposed. And that means that it's kind of vulnerable to be okay, why do you do this this way? Why do you do this this way? And it's more inviting to criticism, but it's interesting to look back on.
Oh, for sure. When you can do things digitally, when everything just gets saved onto an SD, you can just have it. It's there. Exactly. Whereas like you were saying before, when you have film, you're only hitting record when you need to.
Yeah. The idea of behind the scenes is it's pictures. It's at the end of the day, you take a picture with everyone. That's it. But yeah, I think with us, I think some of my favorite moments on set were just that. The trunk scene was the big moment that I was there we go. I still have that picture that I've been posting that everywhere with coda promotion of just the four of us on the hill. And in the original picture is not quite HD. So I went in and tried to remaster it and it kind of worked, but it looked a little paintified. But it looks cool. And I think I posted that to Instagram. Check my Instagram. But that's my favorite picture ever. I love that picture so much.
It's really good. James took that one, right?
I think James took that one. Yeah. Yes. And I was I wish he was up there too. But he was also just on the ground. He's yeah, I'll take behind the scenes stuff. And we got some good behind the scenes stuff that day.
That was fun. I wish I would have taken more.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too. I feel we took more as the days went on. I have some good behind the scenes from the big day. That's what I've been calling it, the big day.
That was the one
where we filmed everything.
Yeah.
Action scenes, running scenes, all
Yeah.
of this. That's a big day. There was I think we've said this too before. There was a point where I'm like, we should split this day in two. And then like as the day kept going, I'm like, well, there's no way you're going to be able to split this day in two.
No.
We have to do this all now or it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like reflecting on that day and reflecting on, there's only so much coda reflection we can do on a podcast, but
That's true.
I mean, it's
especially
been,
now that we're on the third one.
yeah. I forgot that that's because I edited the first one and I put it up.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't edited the second one yet, which is like the full spoiler review stuff. That was fun though.
Mm-hmm.
Hand soap.
The hand soap.
The hand soap.
Are you going through that yet?
I have gone through a little bit of it. I did some audio filtration stuff. I haven't edited like the commercial bits and stuff inside, but the whole thing as a clean thing is there. I just need to go in and splice some stuff.
This is going up after that, correct?
This is going up after that.
Okay. Isn't it kind of weird to talk about
something
like,
that's
eventualities?
Like, yeah.
In the podcast that I do, we talk about like new car news.
Yeah.
And so when we actually discuss it, it's like hot off the press. It's new news.
Yeah.
By the time it actually goes up, people have been talking about it for a little bit. So maybe some of our opinions aren't entirely unique.
Yeah, that's the thing so me and Troy have been doing his Fanboy Talks podcast. And the whole idea is we're just kind of doing it once a week. Sometimes if we're going crazy, we'll go like do like an almost 3-hour podcast. We've just done 2 episodes so far, but on like this fucking like this reboot or relaunch, I guess. But even with the second episode, it was like there was this news. I don't know if you follow like PS5 news and stuff like that. There's a PS5 showcase that happened like a few days ago, and they announced like Spider-Man 2. They announced like a Wolverine game, and a couple other things came out that same day. There's the new like Disney Plus show What If, and people were talking about that at the same time. And we were just like, okay, we need to do an episode. We need to do it fast. And we did it, and we did it fast, and we put it up. And like you have like a 12-hour window of like everyone's talking about this, and in 24 hours, no one's going to talk about this.
Yep.
So it's like within that 24 hours, or like maybe even 36 hours, you have to get something out. And I feel like that chase can get a little bit grindy sometimes. But then with podcasts, I think it's easier because you're just talking. You know, with video essays, I know people who kind of do that grind with video essays. Like a movie will come out and they have like within a week, and they have to post a 10-minute video essay, and that's so much work.
That seems involved.
Yeah, and I could never do that. I feel like there are some things where I can, like I did the Black Widow thing like in 24 hours, but that's not a video essay. That's just me talking for like 4 minutes, you know. And so I feel like I mean I commend people who are able to do that. I don't see myself having that turnaround so quickly. And I don't know what it's like with cars too. I feel like with cars, it might be like there's one side to say it might be slightly slower because there's not as many people talking about it.
For sure.
But then I wonder like, what does that look like? How long does that, for me, it's like 24 to 48 hours. What is it for you?
It is longer because there's a good span between, okay, we show a concept at a show or an event or something. And then, okay, now we show the production car months later or whatever. And then later after that, then people actually finally, you know, I wish I weren't stumbling over words. You can cut all this shit out.
Good. You're good. I'm
keeping
it in.
I'll just redo the whole fucking thing. So we show they show the concept at a show, an event, whatever. Months later, they make the actual production vehicle. After that, then it takes time for it to actually get into the hands of consumers. And so there's a good amount of time between that happening. And there is the hype. People talk about things for a while.
And I think my prime example is just the Cybertruck, right? When that happened like a few years ago. And I feel like
and it's still not here.
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, the time frame between the Cybertruck and like now is my just decline of like enjoyment of Elon Musk related content.
Yeah.
And so it started off and I'm like,
just gets worse.
Yeah. The farther you go down the rabbit hole.
Did you see the robot?
I saw the design for the robot. Did
you see the video?
I didn't see the video. What was the video?
Oh my, a garbage fire.
Really?
It was so bad. It was obviously, it was so obviously a human. There's no way it's not a human
Really?
inside of the robot suit.
No.
And it didn't fit. And you know what the human is doing?
What?
They're playing music and the human is doing the robot dance.
No.
It was so
God.
bad.
No, that can't be real.
You have to watch
That's
this.
like that's like the 2009 like Xbox showcase shit, you know, where they like show the Kinect and
Pull it up.
They
You gotta watch it.
I'm looking it up right now because this is they put an actual human in it. That's
like the best way for me to describe it.
No.
You just have to watch it.
Elon Musk robot dancing. Oh God, here we go. Oh no. I'm looking at this Guardian video. I'm getting an ad for unnamed brand because we won't give them any promotion. God damn, it's one of those 15-second ads.
Unskippable.
It's not even telling me what it is. Okay, it's some climate pledge. So I feel like if I don't state that, I'm a bad person. Okay. No, oh God, ew. That's not.
It's so bad.
That it's not even doing that. It's like it's just moving. No. I get that it's. I mean, clearly they know that it's a human, so they're like, "Oh, see, this is what it's going to be like." I guess.
Yeah, but that doesn't offer anything
that
to me.
does nothing.
Yeah,
that does nothing. This feels like it's just a thing to drop down to Tesla stock.
yeah.
Like that's.
It's just a stunt, is all it is.
This feels like a ploy for the Tesla stock to drop, so he can get more people to buy Tesla stock, or he can buy Tesla stock, and then like over the course of the next month or two, it's going to go back up. Sell it. That's what it feels like.
So we could do a whole podcast on the Tesla robot.
It's just, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, because I saw the design on Twitter and I was like, this is like, have you seen that one Netflix movie, Mitchells versus Machines? Maybe you've heard of it. It's like an animated movie.
Okay.
It's like a robot uprising and they like trying to stop the robot. It's like a fun movie. It's directed by the same people who did like Spider-Verse and Caught It with the Chance of Meatballs and stuff.
Okay.
It was good. It was really good. But the robots look like kind of like this. Like exactly like
Isn't
this.
it weird that we have it in our minds that robots need to look like humans?
Yeah.
Why do they need to look? They don't need to look like humans.
There's an answer for that.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like that's simple. That's really why. You know, it's like if it looks like just like a chair, people will still find a way, but you know.
Yeah, people will.
You asked Clout Mithy the answer to this question.
You know what? Fine.
That's the answer.
That's the answer I didn't want, but it's the answer I was going to get.
Yeah. Nowhere you else you're gonna get the answer. That's why though. That really is why.
God.
I'm trying to think of any other because all other instances of robots are for just a function. Right. A crane is for a specific function.
Right. I have a Roomba that goes around my house
and it looks
shaped,
like a disc because it's just on the ground. You know, it's not supposed to look like an animal or anything.
It doesn't look like a human holding a vacuum.
No. It just looks like a thing. So why do all these other robots look like humans? One, it's just so we feel comfortable with them, which that's not ever going to happen.
They're general purpose robots, and so they're designed to be able to do whatever.
Yeah.
And even then, have you seen there are companies that
I've seen the Japanese ones.
There's companies that specifically do robotics. Tesla doesn't specifically do robotics. They do a lot of things, but they don't specifically do robotics. And even the companies that specifically do robotics are having a very hard time actually getting their robots to just do basic things like step over an obstacle.
Yeah. Because for something like that, you have to realize there's so many variables in play to get something to automatically move.
Right.
That there's a reason even sliding doors took like a hell of a lot of time to develop is because motion tracking is different, you know, and like now the way that technology has evolved, some of this stuff is easier, but the point of to have a robot do all of these functions autonomously, that's different. And there's also a difference between like a kiosk robot and like an actual robot,
right?
You know, are the step towards like an actual like machine learning based algorithm that manages a human like persona, we're so far away from something like that.
It's just like you were saying, how many possibilities there are. Like, and the same thing goes for going back to Tesla, the way that their autopilot thing works for the car to drive itself. There's so many different instances of even just a stop sign. And I mean, how do you do it? do you just upload a billion pictures of stop signs and then rely on that?
Yeah.
Or how?
What happens the moment a stop sign gets dented?
Right.
You know, or like you ever use that that one online simulator thing that's like you're an automated car and you have to choose between killing like 10 elderly women or like 10 young women and stuff like that. And it's like, which one do you pick?
Right.
And it's like, it's kind of like that. It's a train tracks thing. And it's like, there's a point to where machine learning needs to be able to develop to do those kind of decisions. But also it has to develop to the point where like, if you see a duck, it knows it's a duck and it doesn't just think it's some like tumbleweed on the road, you know, and even that takes so much effort,
right?
You know, so the problem is it going to pick the older women or the younger women? Is it going to even know that they're women or not? You know,
right. Yeah.
It's like, is it going to know they're older?
We back it up way further.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fun to do the simulation part, but we're already still so far away from that point that like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because even the point where something like that becomes a reality, people are going to go and do it anyways. Because that's how technology works in general.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did they make the atom bomb?
Right.
Because they didn't think about the ethical situations that Oppenheimer and all these other people did, like when they made it. But behind the scenes, it's like, all right, we got a thing that we can put over there and it'll make them all die. Let's do it. You know,
right.
that's the thought process. And I think even with robots and stuff, it's like we can use this and we can do it this way and it will work. And then legal repercussions come later. You know,
I think at the end of the day, we can just relax, not have to worry about what the robot's actually going to do.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, somebody's just going to bend it over and fuck it.
Exactly. There we go. Now that is the attitude I want in every American consumer. Is let's only market to the sex crowd and that's it. Nothing else. Oh, but yeah, no, speaking of I was going to say speaking of robots, coda, but that didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Speaking of sex?
Speaking of sex, coda? No.
There's no sex in that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Will there be sex in a future movie we do? You want to do a sex scene.
Don't
so
say
badly.
that. Don't put those words in my mouth. That's you.
That's me?
Yeah, that's
I never said it. Okay. So for context, we're working on a new project right now.
We are.
And I'm not going to say much about it. I'm not going to even reveal the title. And here's why I won't reveal the title. Because I don't know what the fuck the title is. If anyone in the comments knows a good title that's something along the lines of A Last Dance, A Last Call, Midnight Vibes.
Last Dance, not lap dance.
Not lap dance. Get your mind off the sex for a second. What was some other ones? Last Night, City Lights. I've been just throwing out a bunch of like random shit and all of it, nothing has stuck to the wall yet. And I'm waiting for like the golden moment where something sticks to the wall and nothing has. So if someone in the comments has a good title idea just randomly for something that is kind of romantic inspired,
we will steal your idea and not give you credit.
Exactly. We will never give you credit because if you comment on my video, it is my IP now. But yeah, no, I've been struggling a couple with the title, but I've been talking to all my friends about it. They're like, finish the script first. And then once the title comes, the title will come.
Right.
But,
it's like naming the band before you actually are a band.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of a setup to failure. We're like, we have the band name and it's like, they don't do anything. But yeah, no, I've been working on the script. I haven't done too much more on the script from what I showed you before, just because in school and other shit, but I have been plotting it out a bit more. And the story is like, probably by the end of this next week, I'll probably be like nail and coffin on most of the story, which means that scripting will be a lot easier throughout the next like week or two.
Not revealing too much. What I will say is I like it.
Yeah.
And I told you this and I'll say it again. It's definitely the most mature writing that you've done.
I like to think so too. Yeah. I think it's, and even the thing that I showed you is like, it's mature to a level and then everything else goes beyond that too.
For sure.
I will say writing this, what I'll do is I'll be talking about it a bit here and there. I won't reveal anything crazy about the plot or anything. And the genre is kind of romantic involved. That's all you know, right? And you know, if you wanted, just watch the Before trilogy. That's the best preparation I can give is just watch the Before trilogy and you'll understand aspects of what I'm going for. But what we'll probably do is once we start shooting, the first day we're done shooting or whatever, I'll cobble together like a good 30-second teaser, post it, and then just go fucking ghost mode. That's what I want to do. And I just wanted to go ghost mode until we're done filming everything. I can start editing like a final trailer together. And then hopefully sometime in January, I'll put out like the first trailer for this thing.
That'd be cool.
That's my plan for marketing. And we've even talked about, because I've talked with some people, this is like a kind of a dream. So I don't know if it's going to be realistic or not. I want to take this to something like Sundance or like TIFF.
That'd be, yeah.
I think I might have told you this on the phone, right? Where like if something like this is going to be a feature. I told that already on the internet. It's going to be a feature film. This is my first feature film, our first feature film. And I know you need connections to take stuff to TIFF and to Sundance. But I mean, the point of those festivals are so that you can just enter something and see if something hits. So I'm still entering coda into a couple festivals too. So hopefully, around the time, I know festival season kind of starts now. So it's like, it's going to be kind of weird for us to film. And then like, if we finish this filming, like by January, February, and then I just have it with me for like a whole couple months, it's kind of going to be hard for me to just keep it close and then not show it to anyone.
Right.
But hopefully I think I want to apply to like stuff like TIFF and stuff like Sundance and stuff like the Toronto Film Festival. Like stuff that I think at least if we're not getting the big showing in the big theater, at least like a small showing somewhere else.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be nice, at least to just put our name out there as like, okay, we did something that's like of substance.
I'm excited for this too.
Yeah.
It should be good. Should be a lot of fun.
This is a film that I think we can show like people, and even when writing this, there are bits and pieces of this project. With Coda, it was fun to write. Like I knew what was going on most of the time. When something was serious, I'm like, yeah, this is good. With this, it's like, this is personal to write. Like I was writing one of the other scenes earlier. It's like kind of uncomfortable to write too.
Yeah.
Just based on how much I'm drawing from quote unquote personal experience. It's weird because it's like, I'm not ever like putting anything distinctive about my personal life in the story.
Right.
But like it's general themes and aspects of like, man, some of the things that I'm saying or some of the things that some of these characters saying, it's like, it feels like I should have said in those moments, And so there are certain parts in the film where I'm like, it's almost like wish fulfillment, Like, have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
Tarantino movie? The thing where he's like, he kills Hitler and everyone dies and it's like this glorious, satisfying thing. It's kind of like that a bit, just on a personal level of like, I'm going to execute a scene and this is how I wish it went in my real life. Or this is what I wish I said in my real life.
Gotcha.
But then I never said that in real life.
The ultimate form of personal expression.
Yeah, is through something like that. And so we still haven't cast our two characters. We still haven't cast one of them, but we cast the other one. And I mean, we both know him. I won't.
He's good.
He's great. I'm very excited.
He's going to do a very, very good job in this.
Yeah, this is, and I mean, I've told him this is going to be a bit of a deeper role. So and he's up for it. So I'm really excited for this. But yeah, if you have a title for us, just send in the comments because I don't have any fucking idea what to title it. Also, I'm just pulling this right now, and I asked you this too. Like, I edited Coda in 2.1. So I can like just have fun with the formatting. It's like 18:9, right? And I edited Payback in 21:9, which is ultra wide, the cinematic. Then I edited The Deal in 16:9, which is just a YouTube format. And with this one, I've been thinking like, okay, we could either film it. I don't want to film it in 21:9. I feel like that is way too wide for something like this. I do kind of want to, again, film in 4:3. I've been thinking about like editing it down to 4:3.
Okay.
Just because I know that's like it's a good looking size, and I feel like that would be fun to mess around with. If anyone in the comments has like actual legitimate like opinions on what like the meaning behind different resolutions in film and wants to give me a good like look at, this is why you do it in this ratio. This is why you do something in this ratio. Please put them in the comments because the more I look into that, like, I don't know if you've paid attention to films that you watch that are in 16:9, like the tall format versus films that are in 21:9. I try to pay attention, but then I just forget sometimes. And I have a hard time understanding the meaning in certain instances, why I have it one way or the other.
I'm not a very deep person. I'm a pretty at surface level individual. And I would say that just from what you see, it really just comes down to, okay, something might be closer. It might seem like it like you're closer to it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's why like for something like this, a lot of shots are going to be just two characters, which is why I'm like 16:9 would be fine, but I feel like keeping it tighter would make it more claustrophobic.
Right.
And so I kind of like the idea of that. We just have to film it where they're in that space and we're not cutting them off, you know? So,
hopefully this isn't giving too much away, but if we draw them closer together.
Why would they get closer together, Dalen?
That's all I'll say.
You just really want a sex scene. You just really want a sex scene. But yeah. Speaking of editing too, I've been editing the Supercut, and I can spoil this shit because I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm spoiling this shit.
Well, because hopefully everybody's seen
hopefully everyone's seen all the
individual
films.
parts by now.
Yeah.
And then, it'll come together.
What I'm planning on doing, and if you're listening to this podcast, you deserve the exclusive right to listen to this because like 5 people are going to listen to this.
Insider information.
Exactly. What I'm going to do is the first anniversary of Kill is coming out October 30th or 31st. I forgot which date. I think it's the 30th because it's the day before Halloween. And what I'm going to be doing for it, I don't know if I'm going to release it on here, on Coffee Corner, on the main channel, probably in Coffee Corner. I am editing together a supercut of all of the films put together. So I am putting together what I'm doing, and I'll explain this to you here because I don't care about spoiling this. What I'm doing is I'm having a bit of Kill. You know, at the beginning of Kill when Juan is like talking with his wife in the car. He's like, "Hey, what's get tech bars or whatever," and then he leaves the car. That's like the opening of the film. Then I have the opening credits of Coda and like how Coda kind of opens and him having a conversation with Wanda, and then Dan leaves and then he shoots Scribe's character in the head, right? Then from that point on, instead of cutting to the music video, right, I'm cutting to the deal. And I'm saying 2 weeks earlier.
Okay.
Or something.
Okay.
So it's like, it's hard because I didn't want to open with the deal. The deal it has a good opening, but it's not a strong opening, like a cold opening compared to the other films. So it says it goes 2 weeks later, 2 weeks before, or like 2 months before or something like that. 2 months ago or something. And it shows the deal. Everything in the deal happens accordingly. I even color corrected and like I changed some stuff to look really nice. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
I'm kind of proud of what it looks like. I had help from Christian. So thank you, Christian. And so after the deal, do you know, the music scene right in Coda, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The music scene, everything that happens in Coda kind of goes as Coda happens up till when he goes unconscious, right? Like up to the point where he goes unconscious, he gets punched in the face, he gets knocked out. Then, and this is the part that I'm kind of struggling with and I'm trying to mess around to see if it's any way to make it better. I'm putting Payback in that spot. He like gets knocked unconscious.
Okay.
And then while he gets knocked unconscious, I do a flashback that's like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Okay.
Back when and like he wakes up and then the events of Payback happen to give more context as to why he's kind of still freaked out about me and whatever the hell's going on. After he goes to sleep in Payback, then he wakes up. The rest of Coda happens.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Do you think the order of that flows well? I mean, it'll be better when I show you, but do you understand the kind of the pathway of that story? Mm-hmm. It's not the same as because originally, I mean, someone would have just expected me to go the deal, Payback, Coda,
boom,
Kill.
zip, done.
No, and for this, it's like I have a struggle putting those together because the other thing too that I talked with a person who was reviewing the film was like, I really liked it, but one of the big things they pointed out was Cheyenne's character is like so kind of just tacked on the end, where when you view it all together, it's hard to see her just tacked on the end. It doesn't really make sense. So it's cool to see it episodic in nature. But if it's going to be one whole film, even though we don't have extra footage, the best way to balance her character is to put her in more spots.
Mm-hmm. And if I were to feel like she's there more.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I wish I would put her in Payback in some way, shape, or form. Like maybe he gets a call and he talks with Cheyenne on the phone or something like that. But we can't do that right now. Could we? Or just like DM Cheyenne and be like, hey, do you want to like record like a couple lines or something?
Yeah.
I could maybe ask her.
Could do that.
Yeah.
Then we'd have to film Harry on the phone.
Yeah. We can just ask him to film something on like WhatsApp and put it.
Yeah. We could probably do that.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. I'll think about that. We just have to make sure we don't get his hair because it's blue.
Oh.
That's the only reason.
It's true. Make him wear a hat.
Yeah.
Or we could just tell him to dye his hair again.
Just for this one scene where he just
They make like
mountain.
temporary dye, don't they? We can do it for like 48 hours or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe I'll ask him and see if he's free.
They do that at like Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
You could probably find it at the Halloween store right now.
Yeah, give him a wig or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll ask him if he's up for that. But yeah, I mean, with that, I feel like a part of me was uncomfortable with like 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks later, going back and forth. But I feel like if I communicate it right, I feel it'll be fine. What do you think? Do you think?
I think it'll work, and I think that it'll be nice to sort of mix it up like that instead of just having the straight through boom, boom, boom. Because again, people have seen it, and so if you, not to discredit it, if you just put it boom, 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 people have seen it, whatever, fine. But when you mix it up, it almost tells a different story where you have certain elements just placed differently. And you can watch it that way.
Yeah, and I mean, even when I put all the films up, I haven't been clear about the order. Like people know that like Deal, then Payback, and then Coda. But then even the scenes in Coda, basically what I'm implying is that the stuff in Coda happens like before Payback. Like the Deal is the first thing to happen in all these movies, and that's never going to change. But then after that, some stuff with him and the girl happened with Wanda, and then Payback happens. And then after Payback, the rest of Coda continues, is what I'm kind of implying.
Right.
And originally, even in my headcanon, that wasn't the case. I kind of just figured that out in editing. I was like, that flows a lot better. And
just makes sense.
Yeah, other than the hair dye, it makes sense, And I feel like even with the hair dye, it can just be a situation of like, he just dyed it for one thing. His hair isn't actually like that. It's just a special event or something. But yeah, that's my plan for that. And I'm going to tap on kill at the end of that. And I've told you about that. The one thing I've been messing with is endings for the entire story. And I'll talk about this here because even I'm struggling with it. And I feel like this is not something I need to keep crazily secret. Have you seen Vice?
No.
The Christian Bale movie? Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. That movie is like a huge epic of like Dick Cheney doing all this really shitty shit.
Oh,
and
okay.
Like it depicting all of the stuff. The movie ends like after everything happens, after he's basically not shamed, but his other daughter shamed his other daughter for being gay or whatever. And it's like this whole huge thing. I was never there to actually witness what happened, but I heard it was real. I was like, oh, geez. But at the end of it all, he goes on an interview and he's like, some people say that all of this happened, it led to the Iraq war, and you're responsible for all of this. And like the ending of the movie is him like saying, cut the crap. And then he just straight up looks at the camera with like a smug attitude. And for a solid like just 2 minutes, he monologues about like how everything he did was perfect. And we're the scum for looking at him like this way. And part of it's like there's somewhat of a reason to it. Even though now in the back of our heads, we're like, okay, but he's still Dick Cheney. He's still a piece of shit. And
right.
One of the worst world leaders of all time.
Yeah.
Or the most manipulative leaders of all time. Right. But in that moment, you're like, what the fuck? This guy's kind of scary. Right. I've kind of been thinking of doing that. Do you know how I would do that?
How?
Juan kills Harry. Right.
Okay.
Agent 6 he does his 6th kill. He kills him. He gets back in the car. You know the moment at the end of Kill where he's like the siren is blaring and then he like turns to the left? In the passenger seat, I'm sitting there.
Holy fuck.
And I'm just like, I just look at him and I say something along the lines of like, oh, you think you killed him because I asked you to? No, you killed him because I made you. Because I made everything. And I just I have some plan for something. I'm not going to say it all here. But I just monologue to him. And then he looks at me and then he turns this way and he looks back and then he turns this way and then he looks at the phone and then he just throws it out the window and then he drives off or whatever. Or maybe that doesn't even happen.
This is spicy.
This is interesting.
I like it.
Right? I want to do it. It's pretentious as fuck. It's really pretentious.
It's spicy though.
I feel like it's a lot of people like, I like the prick. The prick is cool. I like the prick. And I feel like this would be fun, And I think I have a way to make it actually meaningful where like, it's not going to just be like 5 minutes of me rambling. I've written parts of it. I'm going to keep writing more of it. And like, all we'd have to do is we just have to go inside any car and just shoot it. What do you think?
I like it.
You do?
We're doing this.
Are we doing this?
We are for sure doing this.
This could be interesting because it's like, I feel like the original plan was to just shoot Juan in the car. And I feel like that also works. But this is a nice ending note for, not that I have fans, but like for fans to be like, oh, okay. Is he alive? Is he dead? Does it matter? That's not what matters, right?
Who knows? Maybe he's actually dead in this scene.
Yeah, and it's just like the idea too is like either he's alive and he's just sitting in the car and taunting Juan, or he's dead and Han's just so fucking obsessed with this entire life that he's like he can't even discern anymore. And I think either is fine, and once I actually do it and put it up, if we do this right, it will be kind of up for interpretation. But it would be a nice, because I feel like throughout, and I don't know, we'll go through all the films and we'll see if it's comes through. It's weird I'm trying to see if I can draw a message from all the films, right? You know, when you make a film, you are, not to be full joker, you're trying to send a message, right, about something. You know, Before Sunset is a movie about two people falling in love, and then that love growing and how these people react to this love growing in such a short amount of time. Movies like La La Land are about how two people can live their individual lives the way that they need to before something happens between them. Or I'm trying to think of another example. Even Mission Impossible is about like Ethan Hunt embracing that, you know, he needs to do whatever it takes to save everyone and how he needs to deal with that side of himself.
It's media. You can get something from it.
There, like in the writing, there is a message that is being delivered, right? And I think with Coda, there is a message being delivered of like, this guy is a shitty guy. No matter what happens, is the things that happen to him are kind of his fault, because not even that it just happens to him, but that he is actively making decisions to hurt himself.
Right.
You know? But then in Coda, it doesn't necessarily come all out of his consequence. It's like, oh, his girlfriend happened to get kidnapped. Oh, he happened to have to kill this guy and stuff like that. And I feel like with this, I want to drill away the message, because the message I'm trying to get to with all these films is this idea of hitman in media. Bill Hader makes the joke, there are more hitmen in media than there are in real life. You know, like, there's not that many hitmen.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But like the thing with this idea of a hitman, you know, we treat it with class and we treat it with something that's kind of cool. But what I wanted to do with this whole thing is kind of drill down the idea that like they have it. We can sympathize with them for having like a terrible life, but they are killing people, you know, and that takes a toll upon someone. To kill someone, especially out of an act of war, that takes a toll on someone's perception of other life, you know. And so like with the prick to me is a character that just laughs in the face of that severity of like, yeah, I mean, you kill people. That's what you do. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to make you do it anyway. Because that's what he does with the pink hair dude. That's what he does with Dan. That's what he's ended up doing with Juan too. And I feel like I haven't hammered that home enough. Like I did in the ending monologue with Dan, but then beyond that, there isn't something to grab on other than just the plot of the story. And I want there to be some kind of message. And I don't know, other than something through the prick, I don't know how else to do that. Like I would have Juan say something to someone, but that's hard to do, you know, and that's hard to format. So I'm still figuring it out. If we have time today, we could probably film something too. But that's what's been cooking my head for like Coda shit. I don't know if you had any other ideas for like a wrap up ending stuff. I told you the thing of like I wanted everyone to die.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that you're obviously the scripting expert, way better at it than I could ever even attempt to be.
They're better.
I think that it's something that we could sit down and discuss and figure out. Maybe it's something that we just go out with a camera
and try shooting something.
Yeah,
that might be a cool idea too. Because I mean, part of that was Kill. Did I tell you what the original plan for Kill was? I think I might have once.
Jog my memory.
Kill originally was a 9-page script where it was just two people fighting each other.
Okay.
And it started off, it was me working with one other dude, and then Harry was going to be one of the villains. Or Harry was going to be my camera person because he had the camera.
Okay.
And Juan was going to be one of the villains. And it was going to be between a guy named, I forgot what I called him. Something that started with a J.
Jeremiah.
Sure. Jeremiah and another character called Agent 6. And so what was going to be is like Juan would have played Agent 6. So it's still, I guess, technically playing Agent 6 to this day.
Right.
But what it was going to be was Agent 6 is hunting this guy. He like wakes up and he's like, where the fuck am I? And he's hunting this guy. And he keeps hunting him. And like there's a first action scene in one area on a parking ramp. There's another action scene. The parking ramp we filmed at, below it, there's like a little bridge. It was going to be there.
Okay.
Then there was going to be another fight scene in Marsden Hall, where like right in that area in Marsden Hall. And then the final fight scene would have taken place at the edge of the lake, like right before like they were about to die.
Okay.
And what happens is the guy who was getting hunted was going to become the hunter, and it was like a kind of like a spin on Most Dangerous Game, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the idea behind Coda too, was it was a bit Most Dangerous Game, but it was like, okay, he goes in and the hunted becomes the hunter.
Yep.
Right. And then he looked at a suitcase that is like gifted to him, right? Like is left to him. He opened the suitcase and there is the mask Agent 7. So then he becomes the next Agent 7. And then next time, if I do like a kill 2 or something like that, it was going to be like a skateboard chase sequence between like 2 people and someone was going to die.
Gotcha.
It was just like, that was less of like a depth thing of like, let's create a story and more just let's try some stuff. All those plans fell through. We couldn't film everything.
All right.
And there's a lot of stuff too to film. So we never ended up doing everything. But then I was like, all right, let's just do something in this apartment and let's go from there. And so we took 3 hours. We went and got, I think it was like Popeyes or something. We came back and we filmed everything, and that was it.
Nice.
And I feel like that, and that's what you're talking about, like kind of a point and shoot thing. And I feel like films these days also have lost that a lot. Where I feel like even for the thing that we're working on, I've been thinking about not scripting some of the ending stuff.
Yeah.
Because the plot. I'm not gonna say the plot on here, but
Sure.
It builds up to a certain point, and then after that point, I'm like, there are a bunch of cliches that I can go through, and I don't want to really tackle the cliches. I want to do something different.
True.
And a lot of those differences come just on spur of the moment stuff.
It's just a natural thing.
Yeah, us shooting in the trunk was never planned. We just did that because we wanted to do that. Us shooting with me in the greenhouse was never planned. We just did that because I was like, why not? Let's shoot a scene. We don't have anything else to do. So I feel like with every project that we do, I want to add some level of spontaneity. And it's hard to plan that,
All the way up until we just do an improv.
Exactly. It's just, we run out of the theater, we do a whole improv show. That's the entire show.
Yep.
I mean, did you ever hear about that? James McAvoy, the actor? He did a film and it's releasing soon. He wasn't given a script. He's supposed to like come up with a character, and everyone else knows the script and knows the story. Or like kind of knows the story. Okay. And as the story continues, James McAvoy, the actor, is acting like a person and it's like discovering the story.
Okay. That's experimental. I like that.
It's extremely experimental. They couldn't have picked a better guy to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just imagining being a director on that. Like half the job is actually maintaining what you're filming. And the other half the job is just like holding like a trigger button over the camera to be like, when is the moment that this is all going to go to shit?
Yep.
But that's so interesting of like, how would you like it being a cinematographer, right? Not knowing where the character is going. How would you handle that? Because there's no mark that you can put the character on. Like true. You can't, if you have a 140 millimeter lens that's super shallow focused, you can't put a mark on the ground and be like, hey, stand there. Because he's gonna do whatever. How do you film something like that?
That does put some like technical constraints on what you can really do.
Yeah.
But I would hope that wouldn't, detract from it at all. I think, I don't know. That's tough and it's curious. I'm going to have to think on that one.
Yeah.
And watch it.
Yeah. I want to watch it really badly. I don't know when it comes out. But it's really, because I saw there's a story part of it. Sure. That's like, you need to understand how characters work. And some of that kind of is theater too, right? Where there's a good amount of theater where it's like you have stuff on script, but then from there you have to let characters kind of be themselves. But this is like, it's you're also filming it, you're worrying about lighting. You're worrying about how you're actually filming it. You're worrying about how you're miking someone. You need to worry about when the next scene is going to be too. Like if he just moves on to another scene, it's like that scene has to flow with this scene and you have to maintain pacing. And if you don't have an actor who is strong enough to understand how pacing works in those kind of instances, the pacing of your film is going to be fucking awry.
Right.
That a chase scene has a different pacing than a single, and it's like an action-y film too, which just makes it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's not like too much hard action, but like thriller action.
Okay.
Where it's like you slam some doors into heads, or heads into doors and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Where it's like, how would you
I really want to see that because that Again, like just technically, it seems like it'd be really involved. Like, how do you go about that?
Exactly.
Now I'm very curious.
I forgot what it's called, but I'll find it at some point and I'll send you like the link to the trailer. It's just interesting to see, like, that's a thing that they're trying now.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
I like that.
I'm trying to think of what else has come out recently that's kind of experimental like that. I know going on to Richard Linklater movies, they're working on a movie right now that's going to take like 20 years to make, because it's like they film have you heard of Boyhood? It's a movie that's like the kid was hired to act like as like a 7-year-old through like a 17-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Or like a 10-year-old through a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And so they filmed like for 2 weeks, like once every year for 7 years.
Okay.
Now Linklater, the director who did that, is doing that again now, but for 20 years.
Interesting.
But it's like, it's not even set.
Is it starting now or is it?
It started.
When did it start?
2 years ago, I want to say.
Okay.
A year or 2 years.
How old is he?
They cast like actual actors.
Okay.
Like 20, 30-year-old actors right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What if somebody dies?
What if he dies?
Yeah. Well, how old is he?
He's like 60, I want to say. 50 or 60.
Well, that's a little ambitious.
I know. And it's like, I mean, he did say once with Boyhood, I think, if he died, Ethan Hawke, who's the actor who would take up direction for a lot of things. But even he's like 60 now, 50 or 60 now.
Okay.
So it's like, you know.
Yeah. And then you've got to have a lot of variability in what you do. Like so much can happen in that amount of, like, somebody could go bald. They could gain 140 pounds.
Exactly.
They could,
you never know what's going to happen. And I feel like with something like that, I don't think I could ever do that.
Really?
I need to sit and finish a project.
Okay.
And something that will take,
which is kind of why you're nervous about shooting this and then having to hold on to it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about, like, I like 3 years. Fine. I'm fine. If I'm working on a huge project that's going to take me 2 or 3 years, I understand that. But even with this, like, we've wrapped coda, and like the weekend coda was out, I started working on the new script. And I don't know. I was kind of self-conscious about that, to be like, does that mean I don't like coda and I'm trying to work on something else? But I don't think that's it.
No,
I think
there's always something else out there.
And I think it's just wanting to chase something else too. Because coda's doing well. It's like almost at 900 views, I want to say. We're getting close to 1K. Nice. And I'll say once coda gets 1K, I will stop Clout Mithy. I know. So for context, a lot of my friends on Twitter are pissed off that I keep clout tweeting. Okay. I only clout tweet. Like a new Spider-Man trailer comes out or something, and I only tweet about that. It's like 3 tweets. Most of them are bullshit. One of them that's bullshit gets like 100 likes or 200 likes. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, see, clout Twitter worked. And everyone's so pissed off. And I said, I will at least take a hiatus. Maybe I won't stop forever, but the moment coda reaches 1K views, I will kill Clout Mithy for a bit. And everyone's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I promise. Okay.
Well, here's how you get around it.
Yeah.
This is the asterisk. You stop doing that on your main account. You create a second account called Clout Mithy.
They told me to do that. Yeah. They told me to do that, but then it's like I have to have 2 accounts.
It's not that hard. It just pops up in the little corner up.
I know. I have another account already for the Batman shit.
See, there you go.
I shouldn't do that.
Clout Mithy.
Yeah.
With a K.
But the thing is, the point of clout is to get views on my existing project. True. So then it's like,
right. How do you link, like,
exactly,
without going into the comments and saying, hey, go look at my page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where this is all like the same. And it's like, I just have to make 2 accounts that are the same. Like 2 exactly the same accounts. Or something like that. I'll come up with something. One for
friends Mithy. The other one, Clout Mithy.
Yeah, exactly. And then once it's going to be more successful, I'll stop talking to my friends and I'll only talk with faceless people on Twitter. You know, then like that's it.
Yep. That's how it works.
Exactly.
That's your entire life planned out now.
Yeah. and then I'll have all of them watch this new project. They'll be like, "Oh my god, you made a Spider-Man reference? That's so cool!" Like that's all they'll say.
Speaking of Twitter, do you want to do questions?
Yeah. Do you want to go through some questions?
I'm getting kind of hungry.
Yeah. We'll go through some. How long have we recorded?
We are at 58 minutes. Yeah. But the first like 8 minutes were like the BS and then me talking about podcast analytics. Stuff that's not going to make it.
We'll go through at least like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Usually
for sure.
An hour.
You want to go to haiku?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'd love haiku.
My credit card doesn't work.
It's actually right there right now.
Fuck, remember, I forgot.
your last place is. Yeah.
I'm such a bitch.
Yeah.
Let me look through some questions. We got some good questions. We got some horrible questions. I'll go through the horrible question first because Hasan is a bitch. He said, if TASM, the Amazing Spider-Man, the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, was a word, how would you describe the sentimental integrities of situational factors and why was it important for filming on the set of Coda? The fuck does this guy want? None of what he says is... He invented a word called inarchery or something.
Okay.
It's just INACHARY.
Word.
And he's like the inarchery of the complexity. And I'm like, that doesn't... Why? And he keeps tweeting it every single time. It's kind of funny, but he keeps tweeting it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Yeah. He also asked favorite movie.
Favorite movie?
Yes.
You go first. I'm going to have to think about this.
I was going to say Mission Impossible or Before Sunrise. Those are like my two right now. It's funny. Mission Impossible Fallout became my favorite movie. And shortly after that, I spent the whole year working on action short films. A few months ago, Before Sunrise became my favorite movie. And now for basically the next year, I'm going to be working on something that's very, very, very inspired by it. So you can tell like the favorite movie, like when I put something in my favorite movie, that kind of defines my filmography for at least a year. Like what I want to do film wise.
Yeah.
So
I think you know this. I've always been a fan of the Bond films. Even like the cheesy, like slapstick.
Die Another Day is great.
Roger Moore.
Die Another Day is awesome too. I know people shit on it, but like the Cars in the Ice.
See, I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I don't like that. I love Pierce Brosnan as Bond.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan is my favorite Bond.
Yeah.
I do not like Die
You don't
Another
like
Day.
Die Another Day? Here we go. Here's our first beef. I think Die Another Day is fun. I think it's fun.
It is. It definitely marks the end of an era for Bond because when Daniel Craig came on, don't get me wrong, they had to take it in a different direction, I think, just based off of other, because, you know, have you seen any of the older Bonds? The ones from the 70s with like Roger Moore? They do like the car flip thing and they have a slide whistle.
Yeah.
Like it's just a joke.
It's kind of
like,
like,
then you have stuff like Jason Bourne. Like you can't have a joke spy
like
movie.
Yeah.
Like it just,
have you seen The Italian Job? The old Italian Job?
Old and new. Right? Or which one?
I haven't seen the new one.
Okay,
I've seen the old one and I watched it with friends. We didn't love it. It was kind of weird. I got parts of it. I understand why someone would love it though. There are parts of it that are fun. It just goes on for a long time. But honestly, when I think about it, the more longer it goes, the more I'm kind of impressed. It's funny, Mission Impossible Fallout, because it takes place also, the chase sequence takes place in France. You see references to different like hallways they like.
Oh, do you really?
Like drive around and stuff.
Okay.
It's like the same exact set location.
Yeah,
and so it's interesting.
Love
it's cool.
car chases.
It's such a weird movie to see Michael Caine like as such a, he's like, I'm a rich douchebag and I'm gonna rob more rich douchebags.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing of the movie.
Right.
And it's like the ending's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I did, when we watched the movie, we were like, this is kind of a stupid movie, but yeah, whatever.
I like The Graduate.
The Graduate.
The Graduate.
How do I recognize that?
1968 or 67. I don't know. It's an older movie. Oh shit, what's his name? Hoffman. Why can't I think of it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now you gotta look it up. I hate being wrong on podcasts.
Yeah, so now we're gonna look it up. You said The Graduate.
The Graduate.
Load Google. Graduate.
Please cut this part out and make it sound like I know what I'm talking about.
No, you're not. I don't cut anything.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
That's what it is, right?
Yes.
Yes. He's young in that movie.
Yeah, he is. He looks like this is gonna be horrible. This is all the Gen millennial boomer girls are gonna be like, oh my god. He kind of looks like David Schwimmer.
Show me a picture of him when he's young.
Maybe when he's older, I kind of see it. Let me. The Graduate, 1967. I mean, everyone sees that marriage shot, and they're like, okay, that's from that movie. You see it, kind of.
I could see it
A little bit.
Dustin Hoffman's like my height though, and David Schwimmer's
He's like tall as shit.
He's like 6 and some change.
Which I watched the first episode of The People versus OJ.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Did you?
really liked it. I don't, because I was, I think, too young to understand the whole thing. And
Sure.
like I've started reading up more about like OJ and what the hell happened during the era. It's really interesting how they took that show.
Yeah.
And like I watched clips from later on, so I kind of know what it's history. Everyone knows what happened, but
Right.
like I kind of know how the show does a couple of things. But just the first episode alone, it's like even the way they filmed it. I don't know if you've seen it, but the way they film certain things of like just characters walking, it's like they do it on a gimbal, but it's like super fucking flowing everywhere.
Interesting.
And I think that's really interesting. That I think that's how they like someone coming out of a car just like in front of the press is made to and shot like an action scene.
Okay,
And
that's
I just
interesting.
think that,
Yeah,
and like even the frame rate is like lower. It's like 12 frames per second almost. It's really interesting.
that's super cool. I know this isn't a car podcast,
Yeah.
but fun little thing about the OJ thing.
The Ford Bronco.
The Ford Bronco. So Ford is bringing back the Bronco.
Are
like
they?
it's coming back. They just released it. I saw the first one on the road like a couple of weeks ago, but the launch color that they did was white.
Was it this?
Yeah. And then they white, just like a OJ, fine,
Yeah.
whatever. It gets even better though, because the day they released it was the anniversary of the police chase.
No.
And they claimed that it was a complete coincidence.
It was not. No, it was not. They knew what they were doing, and I kind of commend them for knowing that. That's so fucking hilarious.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I was watching the Gus and Eddie podcast, and they like opening mail, and they make jokes about OJ all the time. That's kind of how I got into like trying to understand what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't up and about during that time.
Right.
But
You were live.
I was
not
just like
competent.
baby. Exactly. I became baby. But
Or wait, no, when did that happen?
like the 1990s. I wasn't
Oh,
alive.
no,
back
you
then.
weren't alive.
But like I know people like heard about it, and
Right.
the show came
it was
out.
still
and,
like a big enough deal.
the show came out when I was obsessed with like the Avengers movies, and I watched nothing else. So like I never heard about the show. But like I and they open their mail and they keep making jokes about it. They get like a huge like tapestry thing, and it's of the Ford Bronco, and it's captioned in huge letters on the left, "The juice is loose."
Oh my god!
They just
is
open
it
it.
is it just the Bronco, or is it like the photo of the Bronco
No,
and then like
it's
eight police
the
cars?
police
Yeah.
officers in the background. It's like the juice is loose.
Oh, that's
I think
fantastic.
it's beautiful. Just to put like above your bed or something.
Yeah.
Before you go to sleep, you see them.
You need that right there.
Yeah. It's such an interesting thing to be like regardless of whether he did it or not, just the whole event of that happening is just so.
And then everything involved. I mean, it's big pop culture.
Yeah, it's huge. And I never realized it was that huge. I just saw the thing with the glove and I'm like, all right, I guess some people watched it. No, everyone was like out on the streets during that time. And that's insane. I don't know if something like that would happen today.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, enough about the people versus OJ. Let me go to the next Twitter question. If my stupid phone can open up Twitter. Yes, it can. All right. I have 1, 2, 3 more questions. Two long questions, one short question. Which one first?
Let's do the long ones and then finish on the short.
Okay. Or you know what? I'll do a long one, short one, long one. Because the other long one's kind of funny.
Okay.
Are there any films, shows, books, music in particular that you found inspiration from? Not the Before trilogy or Mission Impossible. Fuck, he nailed the twos. Can we say 2 words? City Pop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. City
That's what I'm
Pop
gonna say.
is so good.
Tell us about your City Pop
It's just
obsession.
good
now.
stuff.
You know?
I've been big on it recently.
Yeah.
Like it's just all I can listen to. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
I travel for work, so I do a lot of driving. This past weekend, I drove to North Carolina and back in 3 days.
Which we live in Iowa. That's a
We live in
fuck
Iowa.
long
That's
distance.
a 13, 14-hour drive.
It's crazy.
Probably like 14, 15 with
this
stops.
man is insane.
I'm built different. But for the most part, I listen to music and I get tired of music, so I listen to podcasts. And I get tired of podcasts, so I load up YouTube. And I get tired of YouTube, so I like listen to something on Netflix. I didn't do that this time.
No, you just listened to City Pop.
Okay, it wasn't just City Pop.
A bit of podcasting probably in the mix.
Some podcasting. I listened to Stuff You Should Know. A couple guys who I think used to be writers on howstuffworks.com. They do a good one. Smoking Tire is a car podcast. It's called The Smoking Tire because the guy who hosts it smokes a ton of weed. It's kind of funny. He doesn't do the weed and cars at the same time.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And he's in California where it's legal. So
Yeah,
I think big
that's
disclaimer
good.
there.
Yeah.
Trying to think about the podcasts that I listen to. that's not necessarily an inspiration for what we do, but it's what I do when I'm on the road. But yeah, city pop, just great stuff.
Yep.
If you get the chance, just go look it up. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. And it's just good music.
Yeah.
It's very chill, very relaxed.
City pop is the best. Like every time I write, I'm not gonna spoil too much about the thing, but city pop is big in this project. We're gonna try to. If you're good at music composition or something, and you're interested in,
hit us up.
Yeah, please do it, because
Get a nice little movie credit for you.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's something I really want to make it heavy in terms of what this new project's gonna look like. Other than that, I mean, with coda stuff, other than Mission Impossible, Barry was a huge inspiration.
Oh,
the
yeah.
HBO show, because that's a depiction of a hitman who's kind of just down on his luck and not gratuitous, you know. Like with Mission Impossible, it's fun to see the action sequences and they all like go their own shit and there's an emotional moment. But
you smell that? It smells like chips and salsa.
Yeah, I think it's also rice cooking too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, do you have like a rice cooker right there?
Yeah, there's a little rice cooker there, like a sushi rice cooker.
I don't know why. It smells like chips and salsa.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, no, I think Barry was a huge inspiration for that. And like, especially Payback. If you watch Payback and you watch Barry, it's like I basically just copied Barry. Like even the piano music I use at the beginning of Barry just sounds a lot like the piano theme in Barry. And I was going to use a piano theme in Barry, but I couldn't find like a soundtrack example of it anywhere.
Gotcha.
So I used something else.
Yeah.
Which that would have also changed coda, because I probably would have used that in coda too. But so it's nice I found something else. But yeah, Barry's a big inspiration. Another question: what's your favorite video game? I think I know what it is for you.
Man, I've been playing a lot of Forza lately. I play that with friends. We just do like competitive racing and whatnot. It's fun. It's just another car thing. I don't know.
I was gonna say it was probably
obsession.
Forza, just because you've been
Forza's
playing it
pretty
a lot.
good. Man, you know, back a little while ago, I don't really play it anymore, but Grand Theft Auto Online was always a lot of fun with friends. Trying to think what else. Old James Bond games like GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was big for people.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Even the later ones that were on like PS2, there was like Agent Underfire.
I've heard of that
one. What was the other one? I think it also had fire in the name, oddly enough. Other good video games. Big on Mario Kart. Mario Kart's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I wish I played more Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I didn't have a Nintendo. The only Nintendo thing I had growing up was the DSi. The only thing I played on that was Mario, like Super Mario Bros.
Those games are fun too.
This is good.
I'm pretty good at Mario Kart, I like to think. A lot of people say they're good, but I end up beating a lot of people in Mario Kart, so it leads me to think that I'm better.
Were you ever there for those like concert hall like tournaments or whatever?
Yeah.
I wish I did. Like, I think I did only one of those.
Yeah.
Because I think it was good old Darren was he hosting?
Jimerson did that. I think it was like during enrichment or something like that.
Like that. Yeah, that was fun. Good old days.
Yeah.
It's so weird to reflect on high school like that.
Yeah, it is. The one game that I suck at though, Smash Bros. I'm terrible.
I don't understand.
I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's very apparent.
I have never played a game of Smash Bros. I've only played Brawlhalla once. That's my one corner of the pulp. I watch a lot of people play Smash. I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
I will watch someone play Smash for at least an hour, and I still want to understand like what, like even the, like I understand that as the meter goes higher, that's worse, but to what degree? Because sometimes the meter goes super high and then they just kick someone off the edge and they win, and I'm like, and like I get that it's a brawling game, you know. But like I so much better understand something like Injustice or Mortal Kombat than I do something like that.
See, I don't know. Even any game where it's like competitive like that, I just suck. I'm terrible at Call of Duty. I'm terrible at Star Wars Battlefront. I'm just not good at like fighting people.
I played one game of Battlefront and I thought it was fine, but I was like, honestly,
I think they're great games. I just suck at them.
I've been playing a lot of Splitgate recently. That's been fun because Splitgate with the bros. It's just I've been playing most of the games I've been playing recently are just because I want to play with someone else. So even Fortnite, I enjoy playing Fortnite on my own, and like once every few days I'll just play a game solo.
Fortnite's all right.
Fortnite's fun. It gets a lot of shit, but I played the new update this morning, and it was pretty fun.
Was it?
It's not great, but it's fine. And other than that, Splitgate's been nice. It's like just you sink some time into it with your friends, and then it's Portal. It's basically Portal times Halo, and like that's been a lot of fun. Low maintenance on my computer too.
Yeah.
But and I'm trying to think of what else do I play. Other than that, it's mainly just those two, and then sometimes TF2. Sometimes, if friends are up for it, but friends are never up for TF2 if Splitgate's available. Other than that, I mean, I have the Lego games. Lego games are big. Childhood things.
Lego games are awesome.
Yeah. Arkham Knight is still, I think, my favorite game of all time.
I'm a big Lego Indiana Jones guy.
I played Lego Indiana Jones. When did I play Indiana Jones? Like a month ago. Like while I was I finished editing Coda and then I just started playing Lego Indiana Jones. That was fantastic. So interesting because I was still brought up on Lego Batman, and then the whole concept of you pick up weapons and then you swap out weapons was so new to me, and I was like, I don't know if I like this, but then the more I played it, I'm like, this is actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I wish I played Lego Indiana Jones 2 because I heard because when I played Lego Indiana Jones 2, I felt like at least the mechanics were a little bit more similar with Lego Batman, and I like that. So I wanted to see, like, maybe if I find a rip or something, or I buy it for like free on Steam or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can play Lego Batman 2, or Lego Indiana Jones 2, because I know I know it does the weapon thing too, where you pick up different weapons, but it's a little bit more remastered, I guess.
The first Indiana Jones game I played on DS, but then number 2 I got it on the Wii. Yeah. And you can use the Wii controller to as your whip.
Cool. That's really cool.
It was fun.
That's interesting. I want to be able to do that. The Wii after the Switch came out, the Wii just kind of died.
It did die. And it sucks because the Wii is such a fantastic console.
It's weird because Nintendo isn't meant for high process. You can't run like The Last of Us on a Switch. You know, that's not, maybe they'll one day remaster The Last of Us for a Switch and I'll be like, why? Because I have The Witcher on the Switch and I'm like, even then, I guess, but I feel like the Switch isn't meant for those kind of games, but they keep making it meant for those kind of games. Right. And it's like whenever they release the next thing of the Switch, it's probably going to be more high processing. Whereas I wish they just separated the line.
Which kind of, in my opinion, I think that kind of takes away from what Nintendo is. Nintendo's always been really good on just really simple games that, while they might be nuanced or there's certain, you have to learn certain things about how to play the game. Yeah. They're still simple enough that anybody can do it.
Nintendo's the biggest game company because of that reason, because something like that is something you can give to anyone. It's so many other games are just like Skyrim was rated M. Yeah. So many parents would not get their kids Skyrim because it's rated M. Right. And it's like from that point on, that's where you turn to Nintendo, and that's why so many people got brought up with
my
Nintendo.
grandparents have a Wii. Yeah. They love playing bowling.
Really?
That's all they do with it.
That's the spirit of Nintendo. Yeah. And I feel like now the higher end shit is just there so they can justify Mario Golf for $69. Oh, yeah. And it's like, okay, come on. Yeah. I'm getting Spider-Man Miles Morales for $69.
Mario Golf is fun, by the way.
It is.
Oh,
I've heard really cool things about it because it's people running around and shit like that. That looks like a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, no, video games. Even inspiration comes from video games too.
For sure.
Our projects and stuff like that. Playing Arkham Knight a lot really had a big influence in how I depict characters and stuff. And I feel like even if I were to do a Batman movie, things would line up with Arkham Knight just stylistically. Final question before we wrap everything up. Yeah. This is Tyler Goodrich, which Tyler, if you're listening to this, I love you, man. I love your videos. I've been watching all of your videos recently, and they've been really nice.
Shouts to Tyler. I'll have to give him a watch.
Yeah, he's really nice. He he does reviews for stuff when new information comes out. But he actually has an insightful opinion. Okay. And a lot of people who do that type of content don't. But he does. And I'm when I saw his video, I was like, okay, it's a Spider-Man No Way Home video. And then I watched it and I'm like, oh, okay.
This is the point that I make about the work that I do and the things that I want to do is there's so many people out there that'll offer their opinions and observations. Okay. Well, I guess more so the observation thing. There's tons of people out there just laying out, this is exactly what it is. Fine, fantastic. Yeah. When you can when you can punch up to the level of insight and offer, something new, that's big.
Exactly. And I feel like that's why I got into video essays, because I felt like that's an opportunity to do something like that. So basically, Tyler, I'm sucking your meaty schlong here for a second, but yeah, it's a horrible way for that. I'm sorry, Tyler. I love your videos though. Please keep making your videos. But yeah, he asked, this is probably too late, but what's your favorite kind of bread? I don't know. I'm eating a sandwich and I'm curious. Mine's white for reference.
There's some good breads. Yeah. You ever go to the local market like Hy-Vee?
I haven't.
They have a bakery that, oh my God.
I mean, there are some brioches that are fine. If you're basic bitch, just Subway Italian herbs and cheese, I'm fine. That's good.
Herbs and cheese is good.
I don't get the point at going to Subway and instead of picking like Italian bread, like, or instead of picking herbs and cheese bread, you just pick white.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, just pick the herbs and cheese one. It's the same. It's just got herbs and cheese on it, you know?
Yeah, way better.
But that's a basic Subway opinion. Other than that, they're good brioches at like Hy-Vee that I don't pay attention to.
There's a restaurant in Cedar Rapids, Iowa called the Saucy Focaccia. And they do all of their sandwiches on focaccia bread.
That sounds interesting.
It's good.
Really?
It's really good. Even I think they even put their burgers on focaccia bread.
That's
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine a burger on focaccia bread. That sounds
it's good.
That sounds really good. Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think also like
I just ate there last week, so that's
really?
why it's
on your mind. Yeah.
And saying focaccia is fun.
It's fun for focaccia.
Focaccia.
It's like saying fuck, but then accia. So it's like focaccia is like
Focaccia is Italian for fuck.
Is it? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, yeah, I was like, no, it's not.
Fuck bread.
Fuck bread.
Focaccia.
But yeah, there's some panini breads that are also really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, naan's great too.
Naan is very good.
That's your special Indian bread.
Naan is good. Do you count bagels as bread?
Kind of.
I think bagels are good. I
Still,
like
bagels are terrible, but perfect bagels are perfect. You have to get the right thing.
For sure.
Like an Asiago cheese in the microwave for like 10 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to think of other types of bread.
I'll say the fucking the shit that they give you at Panera, like just as an extra thing.
Yep.
That's fine. You just have to butter it right, you know? French rolls, right? No.
Okay.
Baguette. Why didn't
Baguette.
nothing?
Oh, yeah. Or if you go to, what is it? Biaggi's. And they have like the oils and pepper.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
And if you do it right, it's great. Yeah. If you don't do it right, it's like, all right, this is just bread.
This is just oily, peppery bread.
Yeah, exactly.
What else? Banana bread.
Yeah.
I like banana bread.
My mom makes great banana bread. Over the course of time, I've noticed her banana bread has become less like bready and more banana, but I'm fine with it. I mean, we just eat it individually, so it's fine. It's like a dessert item.
Yeah.
That's my extent of bread knowledge.
I like pita.
Good pita bread, yeah.
Well, I love shawarma. Shawarma is probably one of my all-time favorite foods.
What about?
Oh,
we could find out.
Yeah, we could go there.
Yeah, we could.
We're getting shawarma.
That's
what we're doing.
That's what we're gonna do after this. We're gonna get shawarma.
Now I'm like 10 times hungrier than I was.
Yeah. And with the hunger in our stomachs, I guess that's really all I have for the Illiterates podcast.
Yeah.
We ran through all the questions, which was nice. Even the shitty one that Hasan gave me. But yeah, thanks for listening. We went on for a bit. We
did.
Glad we
that
went
was
on
good.
For a bit.
I like that.
Sorry we don't have video. But hey, that's fine.
I'm just a dumbass. I forgot.
No, and I forgot my SD cards too, so it's fine. We at least have an SD card. We're gonna go out and
we've got one SD card. It was either put it in the camera and get really shitty audio, or put it in the little Zoom recorder.
Yeah. And I have a format where I like for the Illiterates, I put like a page for one person, a page for another person.
Oh, okay.
And I just do like a thing, so it'll look nice.
Okay,
it'll look fine.
Cool,
consistent.
Yeah. You're really good with the design elements,
I try
stuff
to.
like that.
Troy will say otherwise. Okay. I use Google Drawings. I use fucking most people. Yeah, I use Google Drawings.
Maybe you need Adobe.
I know.
Don't you have?
I have Premiere.
Premiere.
I have it. I don't have like everything.
You don't have the Creative Cloud.
I have the one that I downloaded because a friend sent me a link and I used the link to download.
What you need to do? You need to get on the Creative Cloud.
I know.
Buy it. It's like $19 a month for students.
I know. It's $19 a month for students. I'll get it eventually.
You got to get it.
Or someone will send me Photoshop. That's what they'll do.
There you go.
Because if I can get someone to send me Photoshop, I will.
Illustrator.
Yeah.
Do vector drawings.
Yeah.
I don't know what's Google
it's like
Drawings.
It's like Google Drawings. It's basically just like, you know how PowerPoint is so much better than Google Slides?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
Where like Google
there's a reason it's free.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even like there's no, like even Word is better than Google Docs, but like you can get stuff done with Google Docs.
It's
kind of the same
like owning a Chromebook.
Exactly.
It'll work.
Yeah. That's kind of what Google Drawings is. But the thing with I use Google Drawings as an assembler tool. I don't really use it as just a like Like I don't do everything in Google Drawings,
Okay.
you know? You can still mess with colors, you can still mess with filters, you can still mess with other stuff. And if I need to do something else, I will use an external tool to make images transparent, make bolds on stuff.
Yeah.
But I use Google Drawings just because it's easy to assemble stuff together, you know? Because nothing I do has a high key concept to it, you know? Like the coda poster is just everyone's pictures, but in different tints. So all I have to go is put them in, put different filters, put a few gradients on it.
Well, it's easy to use.
Yeah, and so with that in Google Drawings, if I did it if I did that in Photoshop, it would take me 30 minutes. If fuck, I can't talk. If I did it in Photoshop,
Don't worry, I wasn't able to talk
no.
basically this entire podcast.
No, you're good. If I did
We're
it in
illiterate.
yeah, we are. If I did it in Photoshop, it would take me 30 minutes. If I did it in Drawings, it'd take me 10. So it's like,
Gotcha.
there you go.
Okay.
But yeah, with that said, that's your promo for Google Drawings.
Cool.
I'm doing a promo for Google on a Google platform because it's YouTube. But
True.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Dalen, for being here on the podcast, being an illiterate with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's fucking awesome.
We gotta do this
Use
more.
these mics.
It
These
is.
mics that Dalen brought are amazing.
They're good.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. That's what they are.
There's better.
And with that, usually, you know how we end these illiterates episodes?
Adios, motherfuckers.
No, we say like something dumber than that.
Okay.
Which that's already kind of dumb.
Adios, motherfuckers.
Adios, motherfuckers. But yeah, all right. That was good.
How do you end it?
No, that's it.
What?
You said adios, motherfuckers. I said adios, motherfuckers. I was just gonna end it right there.
Oh.
No, we're ending it like this instead. All right, but yeah, that's good.
Thanks for listening. Peace.
Bye.